Welcome to our 2025-2026 volunteer orientation. We have an emerging theme this year. It's called We Move for Justice. That likely will change a little bit over our time, and you'll hear what that movement is all about. My name's Ed Leahy. I'm the coalition director. We've had a couple people in person during this recording who've introduced themselves to each other. We have a couple people online, but because this is being recorded, we didn't want to have our personal info out there at this point. But thank you for attending and being with us. So, um, over the years, we've learned that people have different motivations when they come to be a volunteer with us. And maybe some of this will speak to you. It's always a good question to ask, why are you here anyways? For some, they find it an amazing way to give back to their community. Many of our volunteers are former customers. They've benefited from the services over the year, and they think, no, now's my time to help out. Wonderful. For others, it's an opportunity to share their talents. Maybe they speak another language. Maybe they're really good at computers. Maybe they just actually like people. Because this is a retail operation. You never really know who's going to be coming through the door. You got to like humanity to serve them. For others, it's a great way to meet people from various backgrounds. And we really do attract a diverse core of volunteers. And that's even reflected in who we're all gathered here tonight. Um, I got to tell this story. We did another orientation this previous Saturday, and everybody who came knew each other but didn't know each other. One was like, I think we live in the same building. And he said, yeah. And she's like, you were asleep in your car for 2 hours the other night. And he's an Air Force pilot just getting back from a long flight, 15 plus hours. And he said, I was just too tired to go in my apartment. And he slept in his car. And he no longer lives there because his wife came to join him and they got a bigger place. But it was an interesting exchange. And then as we went around, somebody said, well, I'm from Kenya. And wow. And this other gal who was there said, well, I'm from Kenya too. It was just unusual to have those kind of connections. And that to me is what VITA is about, volunteer income tax assistance. For some, it's a way of getting a sense of togetherness or belonging. You know, the pandemic really separated us all. We, don't get together in person like we used to. And people miss that. And this is a way to connect with other people. For some, it's certain for all of us, it's an opportunity to learn more and understand better taxes. That's a big draw, of course. For others, still, it's a way to express their faith, their belief in a higher good and humanity, whatever it is. This is a civil program. This is not a religious-based program, but that is a motivation for some people. Not to invite you to join my church or temple or anything, but to just, this is how I express my beliefs. And that's wonderful. Might be good to also consider what would your reason be for wanting to do this without pay? Just snacks and sodas and water, all the coffee you can drink, and enough chocolate to keep you awake doing taxes at tax season. But anybody care to share your reason?
I love helping people.
Helping people. That's a big draw. Thank you.
I would say also helping people and opportunity to learn and understand more about taxes. Like I mentioned, I just graduated with an accounting degree and I like my tax class. So this would help me understand it a little bit more as well.
Great. In case we couldn't all hear, that was I love helping people. I just graduated in accounting. This is a better way to understand more about taxes. So we have a real victim on our hands. Welcome to the club. Um, but a good question to ask each of ourselves as we consider this. So a little bit about us. You can see on our screen here what the mission and the vision of the coalition is. But principal to that is helping our customers feel financially empowered. That means they know a little bit about what my income is, what are the sources of my income, what are the expenses, how can I better plan to use my refund? How do I create a little breathing room in my budget? Any of those kinds of things. And as well, to encourage people to develop strategies to improve their savings. Now, that can also, we like to say, having money rather than savings, having enough money to meet an emergency expense, to keep your car in working order, to get a bigger place or a home, or buying or owning something. Those are all very, very important things. We are a part of Family Housing Advisory Services, so that we're an agency that helps people to find financial and housing stability in Omaha and surrounding communities. This is our team and your lovely speaker here. Next to me is our assistant director, Jenny Powell. Both Jenny and I are principal instructors in the training program. Liz Torres is our volunteer manager. And beginning this week, we hope on Wednesday, we will have a new teammate who will be our administrative assistant. Can't quite reveal her name yet, but you'll get to meet her. Our team is here to help you before, during, and after training through tax season and beyond. And that is for you to be able to reach out to us with any issue, with study, with understanding how the software works, or whatever issues may arise. When you are able to dedicate your time to the home study, and you put the kids to bed or whatever the case may be, or your husband or spouse finally leaves you alone for the day and something isn't going right, don't get frustrated. Give us a call. We can often walk you through whatever your issue is to keep it going and to honor your time and study. So a little bit about our results from last year. It's a handout here in person. I will email everybody this presentation and the handout at the end. But if it's more than just numbers on a page. In the 10 weeks of tax season last year, we accomplished 4,935 returns, returning over $12 million in federal and state refunds, all done by 48 volunteers, which isn't a lot, but it speaks to the streamlined process we have, that we are able to help a vast number of people with few, and that is few, but we're doing good so far this year, volunteers who gave over 4,500 hours of service time in tax season. And if you match that with how many returns we did, it's nearly a 1-for-1 process. Some people file previous year's returns. We'll hear a little bit more about outcomes, but we're very, very pleased with the outcomes from this last tax season. We continue to do taxes, and I haven't added in the new numbers, but we're well over 400 additional returns just since May. The impact that realizes that about 34% of our customers claimed earned income credit, and that helped lift some of them above the poverty line. That's that breathing room in your family budget when you don't have to worry about being able to celebrate your children's birthday, to get back to school supplies or clothes, to take a little vacation for a mental break. About 52% of our customers do own something. Nebraska is one of the poorest asset ownership states, meaning we don't often have people who are homeowners, who have advanced degrees or technical degrees, um, who own businesses. So, with about half of our customers being those asset owners is a significant stride in our last 20 years. That wasn't the case when we first started. So to see growth is important. Almost 40% of our customers contributed to their retirement plan, meaning they have money in an emergency or when they get old and decrepit like me and don't have to worry about competing with their cat for food. That's a good thing. About 60% of our customers have some college experience or technical experience now. That was not the case. About 30% 20 years ago who had a high school diploma. So we didn't send people to college, but it became a pathway of opportunity for people with tax credits and experience and partners willing to help people get back into school, their studies. Overall, our customers generally feel they did better than they did the year before, which is really a compliment in a tough term economy where, yep, food prices are higher, gas is higher, inflation was up. We've been in recovery since the pandemic, and now we have a whole new gig to go into this year. Um, we like this comment from one of our volunteer customers who said, I followed your advice from last year. I changed my withholdings and now I don't owe. That really is hopeful. And that was something to celebrate with our customer. Of course, a big part of all of the acronyms we use, EITC, is Earned Income Tax Credit. That is the principal tax credit we look for that feels like a 40% pay raise for low wage, moderate earners because it restores in part Social Security, Medicare taxes that were deducted from your pay. This is a little bridge to give people a hand up to deal with all of their costs. Can make your $15 an hour job feel like a $21 an hour job. Employers love it, the government loves it, the customers love it, and the commercial preparer market loves it too. But the nice thing when people come to us is they get all of those credits and more when we look for every eligible dollar that can help a family. And there's a list of them. They'll be covered in training. And while many of them are common, the credit for dependent care, child tax credit, retirement savings credit, a big one towards the bottom is about the state tax credits. And in the last several years, states have shifted to supporting their residents more as well. So we'll have a well-rounded approach for you to learn more, to help people to claim these dollars, and then ask them, how are you going to use them? And how will that advance your financial goals? There's a couple of different volunteer roles that we are looking for. You don't have to decide now which one you want. You will also get invitations to our training program in both roles later, but our First role is as Site Navigator, and it's a diverse role. It could be the first face that a customer sees coming into a site. They're there at the door to confirm your appointment. In the past, we did a health screening. Health issues are still with us, whether it be COVID or now measles or even just flu during tax season, very common in the winter. We don't anticipate needing to do a health screening, but you do need to just make sure that people are on the right flight. You have your appointment, it is today, it's at this time, etc. Gets them in the door. Other navigators then assist people with the intake process. They have forms to fill in because we need other info. They'll review what tax documents people have to make sure they have everything at the moment so that we can complete the return in that one visit. They will also be what we call our asset specialists. And the asset specialists are those who offer what's called our money menu of additional services. You've seen it. Sorry, I can't share that with you online, but it's like a menu in a restaurant that offers a variety of other opportunities while people are there filing their taxes, which means I'm bringing every document that I have to bear on my life, financial life at this moment. My income, my expenses, who's in my family, what my hopes and dreams are. And it's helpful to kind of look through the menu and select. I could use a little more education in financial. I didn't know. What is this homestead exemption? Well, yes, I'm elderly. I could not have to pay my property taxes based on an income scale. Give me more info, see if I qualify for that. Maybe people want to have their credit report checked. Um, or maybe they are in need of other solid references in the community of where to go for issues that we can't help you with. Food assistance, emergency rental help, things of that nature. And so the menu allows the volunteer to ask in a polite way that people could just point at, yes, I'd like info about this. And then we can execute those services, give those referrals, enroll people in a class or whatever they need right at that moment. And that's a great way of doing it. So that's what the navigator does in that diverse way. Generally, we try to have 2 or 3 navigators per site. That allows people to work the door and give some attention in the little waiting room while they're waiting to meet with the preparer. It gives them the opportunity to promote the additional services on the money menu and just all around help. But you don't have to do that for 3 hours at a time during your shift. You could switch it up with your other navigator companion and, oh, I'll take the door for a while and check people in. Speaking of at the door, navigators often have to rearrange an appointment for someone, or people do just show up without an appointment. They can be the ones who can help to accommodate that person right now, or the next day, or a week from now, whatever works for them. Most of our appointments are made by 211 operators or by our customers themselves through our website. The intake person can also be the one to, complete the money menu. And, so the roles are fluid. The main point is we're getting people in, we're helping them, we're getting them ready to be helped with their taxes, and we're moving them out before the next round comes in an hour later. The tax preparer role is a little more complicated. Tax preparer must interview the customer. Ask all the questions that could come to bear. What state do you live in? How long? When did you move here? Where else did you work? Oh, you have unemployment from Kansas. We're going to have to file a Kansas return as well. Oh, you have gambling income from Illinois. Well, guess what? Yeah, it's another return. So we review all of their documents. We ask questions. We try to understand our customers' condition and fiscal exposure at that point. And then we prepare the tax return using our software, Drake. Drake is not the software that's used by IRS in the VITA program nationally, but it is a very user-friendly professional software that really advances our volunteers' learning. One of our goals is to educate customers in that whole process, help them understand what it means to file, where their income's coming from. For example, in our first years, people would come with their sealed envelopes of their W-2s and not have a clue how much money they made. That's not the case anymore, but they do have better questions like, am I withholding properly? What else could I be doing to reduce my tax burden? Well, your employer offers a retirement account. You're not contributing to it. Maybe you should talk to HR or go to that lunch and learn and get enrolled. You might be leaving money on the table. Simple conversations like that can make a world of difference for the people we help. There are opportunities for preparers to work in relative isolation, meaning on days that we're not open to the public, we're doing returns that have been submitted through our remote filing process called Tax 360 Secure Drop. And so volunteers can come in, download the documents that a taxpayer sent us, prepare their return, and send that return to the customer electronically along with a signature document. And that's how we help people without them being here. So if you don't like the sniffles, the coughing, or the cooties, then working on secure drop might be for you. One of our volunteers said, I couldn't have built confidence at all without the reviews that were readily available with real taxpayers. I believe in the mission, the commitment of the staff. I'm lucky to have a chance to share in bringing that vision to life. Knowing I'm part of a team that has my back gives me faith that constructive criticism will always be welcome. And there's a lot in that sentence. First, we are working as a team. Second, your work will be reviewed for accuracy. We deal with real people's money who can ill afford a big boo-boo. So having a second set of eyes to go over everything doesn't mean that we don't trust you to know what you're doing. It means that that second set of eyes can catch something you didn't notice. So a very, very helpful process all in all. We also seek and generally arise from our core site coordinators, and those are people who help to review returns, who manage the site, manage volunteers. Oh, Susie couldn't come in today, so we're going to be a preparer short. We may have a little backup. Let me know if you have any problems, or we're really going to focus just on the tax prep today. Let the other stuff go so we don't get too far behind. That's how we get to 5,000 returns in a tax season. A little adjustments. We have also site administrators, and these are people, since we are a paperless process, who can support the coordinator and all the other volunteers by moving our scanned documents from a shared folder available to all volunteers at the site to our secure folder so nobody else has access to anybody's personal info. they can assist with calling returns that may have rejected and trying to get taxpayers to come back in, etc. So that's a role that might be available to any volunteer. Both of these are paid positions as well. And then we often have an AmeriCorps team, despite a rather sudden shutdown in the current administration to that at the end of last tax season. It has been restored, and we anticipate having another AmeriCorps team that can come in, and this time for the whole tax season. So we're excited about that. We often have student interns at a variety of universities that work with us in one or another role, but we never turn anybody away. So even if you came here tonight and I'm like, I'm not sure what I want to do, but I'm really good at cleaning, we'll be happy to take that. Processing thousands of people in the wintertime with wet, snowy shoes and salt and slippery floor. It's more than our janitors can take if we can just keep the place in working order. Some people make really good cookies. Well, and they share them with our volunteers. Yay, more sugar to keep us going. Or other things. We've had people bring in trays of pupusas, which have been a delicious little snack if you're working a double shift or something of that nature. So really, there's no shortage of things that one can help with. We are excited about our new program. It's the Retired and Senior Volunteer Program, a different type of AmeriCorps program for any individual 55 or older to build on their experience, to offer their life wisdom. And as we're initially offering this, it's for anybody joining us who's over 55 and wants to deepen that experience, maybe even year round. For example, we're going to be going to a outreach for homeless people in October and doing taxes and having an info table. RSV volunteers could be the ones helping at that along with our staff. Other recruitment opportunities at universities, both in the fall and the spring, various opportunities. We will offer some additional leadership training for RSVP volunteers. They can work in outreach at community events during tax season. They can be a preparer, a reviewer if they have that experience, a navigator and or a mentor, especially to newer volunteers. Hey, I've done this a few years. I'll work with you. We'll sign up at the same time. We'll go to the same location. I'll be here to just hold your hand and walk you through the process. That's helpful. RSV volunteers are also welcome to be a part of our coalition meetings and our subcommittees to advance the work and planning for every tax season that's accomplished by our professional partners in the coalition. So many opportunities there. To sign up for that, there's a little designated box on your profile in the volunteer vault, or you can ask for more information from Liz, our volunteer manager. But we're excited about that. These are our current locations. In Douglas County, we are here at 36th and Q Street at Family Housing South. We're at 108th and Fort, more or less, at Douglas County Housing Authority. We're at Habitat for Humanity in North O, 24th and Hamilton. Metro Community College, the Fort Omaha campus on North 30th Street. In Sarpy County, we're at Bellevue University. In Pottawatomie County, Iowa, we're at both the Council Bluffs Library the Habitat for Humanity, and possibly a new location this year in Carter Lake. We also have the remote filing secure drop, and depending on need and volunteer coverage, we may have an occasional ad hoc mobile location for a day or once a month or something like that at a location where we don't have a presence currently. So that's where we're currently at. And as we get going with recruitment, we'll have a better idea if we add more, extend hours, have multiple locations open on the same day, etc. We will be and have been for the last decade or so a 7-day-a-week operation. So there is a slot for you to fill in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, on a weekend, even on a Sunday. So that can fit almost anybody's schedule. I'll pause there to see if anybody has any questions at this point before talking about next steps. Good. Anybody online have a question? Good. Then we'll just keep moving. So we want your volunteer experience with us to be one of the best you've ever had. And so your success is very important to us. There is, and I believe everybody here has filled in a volunteer application on our website through what we call the volunteer vault. The vault just means your info is also protected and secure. Nobody else has access to that outside of our staff and our coordinators in tax season to see who's working with them on a particular day. So just be assured your info is safe there. If you know anybody else in your family or you get excited after this and want to invite someone, please have them go to our website, fill in that application, and that starts the communication process with our team. When you sign up for service hours, you also go back to the vault and sign in using your email and hopefully the password you established when you filled in that application so that you can choose, oh, I want to work at this day, at this time, at this location. Right now, the vault doesn't have a lot of opportunities in it, but in tax season, what you'll see is help wanted, help wanted, help wanted on every day. So what day works for you, you click on it and you say that time and hour works, and then it becomes part of your calendar to remind you. The system sends you an email reminder or a text, depending what you choose, a few days before, and it will send you a thank you after you've served. At the site, you sign in on the vault on the computer in a different version, and that's your punch clock. I got here at 9, I'm leaving at noon. So you sign in and you sign out like you often have to do at work. All of that done again through our website, omahaeitc.org. So here's the big news. We are changing this location. I don't have a timeline yet, and I don't have the liberty to reveal where we may end up, but it's close to here. So it's close to our present location at 36 and Q. We will be interrupted likely during our training time. So we have reduced our training and the number of in-person sessions to limit that. And we have all new recordings of tax law and process and procedure to help you with some self-study at home. This way, we're able to deal with whatever timeline gets developed and they tell us we got to move. So packing up, moving, unpacking, getting reconnected, that's going to be an interruption during training. But it will be minimal to us as we're only planning on about 8 in-person practice sessions that will really hone your skills. You will be able to access our software at home. You'll have all of our presentations and handouts and resources on a USB stick. And we have a very user-friendly training platform where recorded sessions will be available for you. So we want to limit those interruptions and to help you be as prepared. And as soon as word comes out on all of that, I'll email people, and there will be additional opportunities to help us box up all this crap in the office if you want. So we're moving, but we're moving for justice. We will have a better environment, either place we go to. We will have better technology, and we will have, perhaps, my dream come true, a much bigger place to study and help people. So as soon as I can tell you, I will. We'll get those schedules out soon. I've been all over our board of directors about nailing that down. So not our choice, but this is what happens. So as a result, you won't get your links until a little later this week. I'm just finalizing the syllabus now, but we will have a couple of course offerings for you for preparers to, it's about a 48-hour recorded course, September through December. And then we'll start out here. I'm pretty sure in September we'll have our in-person classes here, especially at the beginning, to get everybody connected and familiar with stuff and troubleshoot things. But then if we end up moving in later October, November, at least we'll have some flexibility and we'll wrap up in the new place. That's my hope. that will happen that way. For those who are interested in perhaps being a site navigator, those courses were delaying until January. It's a little shorter, less intensive, but equally important role in our process. And so we'll be able to do that when we're firmly established in our new place, ready for tax season. So all of our courses are free, but the cost will be your time that you offer to serve as a volunteer in your chosen role in tax season once or twice a week, or 3 to 6 hours or 12 hours or whatever you want to offer. That helps us for planning. And we'll be talking to you about that. Materials will be ready, but probably by the first class in the week after Labor Day. That's where we'll get you all the materials. We'll get you connected to all of our platforms. We'll walk you through all the steps. We'll have a secondary class to go over understanding the process a bit, and then off to recorded land for 2 weeks, and then back into practice a return, etc. So that's how it's shaping up to be. But we're excited, and again, we're trimming it a bit, but making it better. So all new recordings. So that'll be fun. Each course will help you understand tax law. We like to approach it like that little Russian doll, the big 1040, and then we unpack it as we go through a customer's particular needs and particular incomes and expenses, and then we repack it for them and print their tax return for their copy. So that might be hard to see, but that's the heart of our training. What we do expect is good communication when we send emails and say, oh, well, we're going to have to make this adjustment on the syllabus or that adjustment. Let us know that you got it and you can or can't make whatever happens. No harm, no fall. Careful attention to our procedures and processes will help you, especially because we've linked things from how we treat people when they come in and the order that we review their documents to the order you're putting it in to when the process wraps up with consent and signing and getting them out the door. So learning that process is key. We will be, and we'll have a core of other instructors to help us ensure that your homework is done correctly. You'll be preparing many fake tax returns through training. That will help you understand the software, navigate it, as well as looking for accuracy and areas that you can improve in. Our training platform, Moodle, is user interactive and helps you keep track of your progress. And the syllabus will lay out suggested days. So you should be prepared to spend about 6 hours a week in class. Most of that will be at home. So if you dedicate 2 days, 3 hours a day, great. You can spread it out. You can access the platform at any time of day or night. That's there. But follow the syllabus and be ready for the in-person classes. Really critical. Teamwork makes dream work. And mostly we have people, as we heard at the beginning, I love helping people. I love memes. So true friends might not be the ones you spend the most time with, but they're the ones you're going to create good memories with. And that often is our volunteer experience as we tell our war stories, if you will. What we don't expect is that anybody's a math genius, that anybody really understands taxes, even if you did your own for years or helped your sister. That's far different from helping people who are different from you in class, religion, ethnicity, etc. And the things that you have to say no to can be surprising sometimes. And we certainly do not expect that anybody works on their own. We often say, you didn't prepare that tax return, we did, because several volunteers will be involved with each customer and several preparer and a reviewer are going to look at every return. So that's a team effort. We do understand that your lives can be hectic at times. So if your daughter has a concert, by all means, go to the school concert, suffer that seventh grade choir, and skip class that night. That's fine. Things will be recorded, things are accessible electronically. If you're sick, stay home. We don't want your cooties either. So don't bring that into the class. Follow your doctor's recommendations about whether you should get a flu shot or a COVID shot or a measles booster or God knows what else is next. I'm not a doctor. Encouraging those things is helpful because we work in a concentrated indoor environment in the winter with hundreds of people at a time who you don't know. So having a mask at hand is often a good thing just in case you get a cougher. We do have sanitization protocols, and that's also available to you to just kind of get rid of the cooties. I don't want to scare anybody, but welcome to the modern world. These are considerations. If during your 3, 4 hour shift you get hungry, eat. You don't need to ask permission for a break, but let us know you're taking a little lunch break or something. Or if your previous customer really overwhelmed you, touched your heart, or pushed all of your buttons and you need a minute before that next customer, totally understandable. Again, just let the navigator, the site coordinator know I need to go out for a smoke and reset or whatever you need to do. That's perfectly fine. But communication. What's new for this year? Well, we are going to continue encouraging customers to use Secure Drop. That allows us to serve more people without having them take up the physical time and slot in person. We are going to be dealing with multiple tax law changes, and we have a special presentation in mid-September on the new tax law. We will help you with giving new guidance to people of how to prepare for expiring parts of this new tax law that will go pretty fast. When dealing with lots of mis and disinformation that is already out in the community, very challenging, as well as a myriad of changes in Iowa and Nebraska and other state tax laws. We do taxes for every state. Our software is very good at it. And even if you're doing an Idaho return and you know nothing about Idaho, the software does guide you or gives you messages once you finish the federal return of what you're missing in Idaho. So we'll be able to do a lot. And you will be quite the expert by April. So it's a long-term process. I love this quote from Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You know, if you want to be a true professional, you'll do something outside of yourself, something to repair the tears in your community, something to make life a little better for those less fortunate than you. That's what I think a meaningful life is, living not for oneself, but for one's community. Again, that brings us full circle back to why did we come here? What do we want to do? And hang on to that hope, but also consider yourselves on a path of justice, of helping the little guy and gal succeed and understand the big bad government and how to navigate this and have hope and still fulfill their dreams. It is possible. The sky is not falling, but there is some tough potholes ahead, shall we say. Please tell a friend, take some extra flyers. If you need more, we're happy to print them for you to bring to your church, your women's group, or whatever you're involved in. Invite them to come to our next orientation. There are two left, one this Thursday. Well, I guess next Thursday is the last one for the moment. There is an RSVP orientation tomorrow at 3 p.m. on Tuesday, the 19th. So that's another possibility. And we are excited. We have lots of things in motion right now, but we will be fully ready for you. So again, at the end, I will email everybody this presentation and the handout. Later this week, I will email everybody that's been to our orientations the course registrations, and you have a couple of weeks to figure out what will work with your schedule or communicate with us if one or another doesn't work for you. It is possible for us to flex that. Well, morning would be better than afternoon, or I really can't take the evening, or is there a truly online option? Then we can work with that. So again, communication is key when you get those links in the email. Sorry, we're not ready to do it tonight, but it's been a heck of a week. So there's all of our contact information, and we are available to you. Feel free to reach out to us. I'm going to end the recording now and give us who are present an opportunity to ask a question without being online, and then we'll go from there. So thank you for your attention today.